Yeah, first time.
So what is this, Kent?
Bird feeder.
And do you fill the bird feeder?
Bird feeder sometimes. I do.
When do you fill the bird feeder?
Whenever.
Do you fill it when it's empty?
It's full now.
It's full right now. When did you fill it last?
Uh,
Saturday?
no, Friday.
Friday?
Yeah.
What kind of birds do you get at the bird feeder?
Robins and condors.
Cardinals, like your shirt?
Professor.
My name is Marvel Knobloch. I was Marvel Moser, and I grew up in Oakville, Iowa, and married Bob. It was uh, kind of exciting to move to Illinois when I got married. So, and I came from a large family, and we had, as a family, I had 4 sisters and 3 brothers, and we had fun together, and life was fun for me. I gave my life to the Lord when I was 17, and I was happy as could be. Bob was drafted into the Army during the war with Korea. We were engaged while he was in Fort Sam Houston, Texas. We got married November 11th, 1951. We had a 2-week honeymoon, and Bob left for Korea. While he was in Korea, he worked in an Army hospital and did some office work. When he came home, we went head over heels in debt and bought a farm. Bob took some classes at ICC on the GI Bill. We remodeled our big old farmhouse, and I loved it. We were happy, and life was a bowl of cherries. Our daughter Kathy was born in 1953. Our son Kent arrived in 1954. Bob was glad to have a little farmer. Kate joined us in 1958, and Carla and Chris completed our family in 1960 and 61.
Carla. Chris. Kay. Mama. Me.
And who was your dad?
Bob Knobloch.
Kathy was a healthy, cheerful little girl, but Kent was sick a lot and had high temperatures often. He didn't walk until he was 17 months. Whenever he had a checkup with a pediatrician, I would tell him my concerns about his condition and progress, and he would always tell me he's doing okay, and I knew in my heart that he wasn't. We finally had some tests run on Kent, and he was classified as trainable. And that meant he was not educable. So we knew he could not go to a regular school. We had kind of dealt with it as Kent grew up, and we saw that he was not developing like the girls did. And so it wasn't a shock to us. It was helpful, so we knew what to do next. And that was enroll at Park and get help for him on his level and not expect him to get help, like the girls would in their health care. We started attending the parent meetings of PARC and were encouraged and thankful for the organization. Barb Smiley was the director and a wonderful help. She told us to let the school know Kent existed by sending Kent to school for a week. Bob also went to the school board and said he was paying taxes for his son as well as his daughter. Bob informed the board there were other boys in need of special ed classes in their school district. I remember those years when handicapped people were hidden, never taken anywhere. There were several handicapped people in the community that we never knew existed. A dear friend of mine gave birth to a daughter who had Down syndrome. The doctor told her she didn't have to take her home. He could put her in an institution and she could get on with her life. and she replied, "I'm taking her home with me." A group of PARC mothers toured the closest institution where they knew some handicapped children were living and were horrified at the way the children were cared for. It just gave me another perspective of life. And I'm thankful that I had Kent. He taught me so many things. I can't imagine life without Kent. Kent grew up to be a cheerful and easygoing person. Kent went along on all family get-togethers and every vacation our family took. Kent enjoyed all the young farm animals. We had a pet lamb, a friendly pup that grew into a great dog, rabbits in a cage that were fun to feed and play with. A creek held every creeping and crawling thing that Kent enjoyed, and the girls too.
Chickens, cows, or pigs?
What was your favorite animal?
Cow. Steers.
I started taking Kent and two other boys in our county to PARC classes. When Bob would see us pull out of the yard, he would pray, "Please bring them home safely, Lord." There were no seat belts in those days, and I had a car full. Kent, Carla, and Chris, and neighbor's son who had Down syndrome, and another boy. It took 9 years for the law to be passed that every school should have a special needs class or provide transportation to a school that did have special ed classes. PARC was given a school building that was condemned for normal children when they built a new school in East Peoria. PARC always took what was given to us, even if it was second class. Several years later, we moved to a new building that was built for mentally ill people and was closed. As the years went by, PARC saw many new programs and services that we see today called EPIC. Kent's first 16 years were spent trying to keep him healthy. His sisters loved him and spent time trying to teach him different things. Kathy tried so hard to teach him how to ride a bike. There was a real celebration when he finally got the hang of it. Kent loved his sisters, and they helped him in many ways. They watched over him, interpreted for him, and at a young age, they began to protect him. I remember one incident. There was a beach in the lake where we lived in Morton, and the kids would go down there and play and swim. And one time, some boys were teasing Kent, and Carla was there, and she told them off in nothing flat, and they left. So there were there were times when he was picked on, but he always knew his sisters. When he was around them, he was safe. When Bob took the job as administrator of the home and we moved to Morton, our family adjusted better than I expected. Actually, I was concerned. I thought the girls are losing their school friends and their church friends. And I was kind of concerned about that. But they adjusted so quick that I was thankful. Kent was happy to ride a school bus to PARC workshop. Kathy was a freshman at ISU. Kay was in junior high. Carla and Chris were in grade school. When the girls reached 16, they all worked at the home in the kitchen and later as aides, and they knew and loved all of the residents. 12 years later, all the girls were married and gone. Kent got rather bored with Bob and I. The home was adding 50 more beds. Kent was 25, and Bob thought now was time for Kent to move into the home. We prayed a great deal. And we felt that it was better for Kent to be around other people than to be at home with us. as Bob was retiring. And it may be different for other people. I'm not saying that's the way it should be, but that's the way we felt, that it was actually better for Kent than to be at home with us, because he had things planned and the care was excellent. We knew. And I think it was easier for us and people who came from another state. It was easier for us to make that decision than it was for some of the parents. Kent's roommate was an old friend from PARC days. Kent enjoyed being with the other residents and knew he had to mind the staff.
Who do you live with?
Ronnie, Mark, and Keith. Me.
Do you like living with those guys?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do with them?
Remember no. Watch TV.
Do you watch baseball?
Yep.
Are you guys all Cardinals fans?
Connor.
You are all Cardinals fans?
Yep.
What is Rodney a fan of?
The Cubs. Because they're beat.
He is living with two men that he has been friends with for years. And there's kind of a camaraderie there, and I'm thankful for it, that as he ages, he has these special friends that Keith Wynett is an exceptionally loving guy, and Mark, uh, he supports Kent. Sure, they disagree once in a while, but it's nothing that goes on hard, and upsets anybody. Yeah. Bob retired when he turned 65. He had been an administrator for 27 years. He was thankful to turn the job over to a younger generation. Ron Messner had been in social services for several years and became the new administrator. Bob was so thankful for all the dedicated staff who had worked at the home over the years.
So you're retired now, right?
Time for problem now.
Two of our good friends were firemen, and Kent was so intrigued. And they would pick him up whenever, once a month, when the firemen met, and Kent would go to those meetings, and they bought him a uniform. He had all the gear to be a fireman, and he loved putting it on.
Nope. Pants. Suit jacket. Oh, shit.
Did you have a firefighter helmet?
Yeah. Fire captain.
A captain's helmet.
Little fire helmet.
And it was a highlight for him. And if he ever saw a fireman's truck, oh my goodness, that was something. And then when they retired, then I said, now, Kent, it's time for you to retire. Okay, Mom, okay. Because he saw that the other men were retiring, and that was what he was supposed to do too.
And did you have a retirement party?
Oh, yeah.
Who all came to your retirement party?
All the guys.
So, but it was just something that thrilled Kent to the core. He just was so thrilled and thought he was, he thought he was a really fireman. We have been so thankful the Lord knew where to put the home, in Morton. The Morton Church has been so kind and loving to all the residents. Brothers and sisters volunteer to teach a huge Sunday school class. The residents are so thrilled to be in Sunday school, Easter, and Christmas programs.
Do you like going to Morton Church?
Yep.
What is your favorite part about going to Morton Church?
With a book, not a story.
Do you go to Sunday school?
Yeah.
And do you guys read out of the book at Sunday school?
Yep.
What's your favorite Bible story?
Bible story. Jesus Christ is died on his son's blood on the cross. Yeah.
That's a good one.
A good one.
Kent was given to us for a purpose. And I can't imagine life without him. I feel like he was a blessing because he taught me so many things that, and I saw the Lord working in so many instances. The Lord has blessed the home in so many ways. We know someday in heaven, the innocent souls of the residents will be beautiful.